Haunting in Venice is Kenneth Branagh's third installment in his foray into Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot series. Here he is directing and starring in this version as well, and this has got a pretty loaded cast anchored by Tina Fey, Jamie Dornan, Michelle Yeoh, among others. And our favorite Belgian sleuth Hercule Poirot is investigating a murder while attending a Halloween seance at a haunted palazzo in Venice. Now, I feel like as a director, Branagh is very hit and miss with a lot of people. Yeah, Thor wasn't really the strongest out of the MCU overall, but I've always loved the look of that original Thor movie. And I love the look and feel of everything Branagh does as a director. He seems to make the simplest of narratives feel so freaking epic in scale. And A Haunting in Venice is absolutely no exception to that. The cinematography and the direction and the Dutch angles that we know Kenneth Branagh for when he's directing stuff, this is all looking really beautiful. The overall production design of this thing is absolutely awesome. And those of you who've been with me for a while already know that I love the claustrophobic thrillers. The stuff that basically just takes place in one location. Murder on the Orient Express took place on a train. Death on the Nile obviously took place on a boat. Now here we are in a haunted house, and my god, this Agatha Christie story with a horror undertone, this is a really awesome combination. I can't really think of a lot of murder mysteries that have this spooky Halloween undertone. And I think with what you get in the trailer, with the scary elements that they advertise, Michelle Yeoh conducting the seance, this is a perfect palate cleanser to get you all psyched up and ready for the spooky season. Which, my god, as a horror fan, I cannot wait for. It's gonna be here before we know it. Now, I've already praised Branagh as a director on this project. How is he as an actor? If you saw him and his ridiculous mustache in both Murder in the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, and if you heard his really thick accent and the vigor and the mystique that comes out of this guy, I think this character has grown into a formidable presentation. Branagh is dynamite in this film. I think I mentioned something similar when I talked about Death on the Nile, which I should mention, I think that one is the weakest of the three that we've gotten so far. I've never really felt the need to go back and rewatch that, but it's decent. But the same thing applies here for Haunting in Venice. The way Branagh is able to rattle off all this really complicated dialogue at such a brisk and fast pace, like, this guy, he's a master. He's a master actor. This guy is a trained Shakespearean actor. He should be able to rattle off all these complicated words at a fast pace. He's our generation Sir Laurence Olivier, which, for those of you who are theater majors like I am and are familiar with Olivier's work, that is a massive compliment. I think our entire supporting cast around Kenneth Branagh and the names that he's able to get for all of these movies across the board, it's so freaking cool to see these actors come out of the woodwork for these movies. Tina Fey has a really interesting character arc as a former colleague of Poirot. She's a very cynical murder mystery writer who comes in to help the case, and she is so rock solid in this movie. We also have some typical Tina Fey comedy thrown into the mix, which I think is a really nice surprise. Yeah, everyone's really good in this movie, man. Jamie Dornan has some really meaty character work to sink his teeth into. You have Beth from Yellowstone, who is an integral part of this plot. She's really awesome as well. Lest I mention our reigning and defending Oscar winner for Best Actress, Michelle Yeoh. Like, she's a legend already, so you know that she's gonna give a quality performance here. But Yeoh performing as a medium, like, that's a match made in heaven. It's gonna be so freaking entertaining. And holy everything everywhere all at once, Batman, Michelle Yeoh is awesome in this movie. Yes, what a hot take from your boy. Michelle Yeoh is great. I mean, all these added elements together, the acting, the production design, the cinematography, the score, some really uneasy music, and some children singing thrown into the mix, like, it's so good, guys. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, and I overall don't know how the general public feels about this movie at this point, but I think that this is my favorite out of the Poirot Agatha Christie adaptations that Kenneth Branagh has made, just because the murder mystery elements and the spooky elements coming together to make this really captivating mystery really, really great. Like, if I were to nitpick about one thing about this movie, yeah, the trailer basically gives you all the scary elements just right out in the open. And there's not really any other horror surprises that are thrown into the mix. But what we get of the scary stuff, I really enjoyed it. There's maybe 1 or 2 jump scares in this entire runtime, and both of them are pretty effective. Like, this is not a movie that's overly reliant on a big jolt of music to really send goosebumps up and down your spine. Like, this movie knows what it needs to do to give you that uneasy feeling. And speaking of uneasy, yeah, the final culprit in this movie, I thought I had this movie figured out, man. I really did. I thought it was one thing, and I was like, okay, that person did it. That person committed the crime. They're the killer. Boom. Let's see how they figure it out. But no, this is a movie that keeps you guessing. And when the culprit is revealed, I was thinking about it and listening to Poirot list off everything that this person did. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that. I definitely wouldn't have thought of that. Maybe the only people in this theater that might have gotten this right are the hardcore Agatha Christie fans who've actually read all her books. Yeah, I think A Haunting in Venice is really good, guys. Solid performances across the board, great direction, phenomenal cinematography, absolutely beautiful movie to look at. Aside from kind of wishing there was a bit more scary elements, and as well as having a bit more character development from some other supporting actors, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's the best that Branagh has put out as Poirot and as director of these movies. And heck, if he wants to keep making more, I mean, there's 30 more Agatha Christie books that can actually be made into films. If he just wants to play Poirot for the rest of his career, I'm not going to stop him, man. And you can bet your ass that I'll want to buy a ticket to these because they're really good. I'm going to give A Haunting in Venice an A-. Don't let this one slip under your radar, guys. I think it's really great. Let me know what you thought of A Haunting in Venice down in the comments section below. Let me know what your favorite Poirot novel is. What is your favorite movie out of this series so far? Lots of things we can discuss over here and more. And if you're new, what the heck are you waiting for? Y'all are invited to join this great family over here. Smash that subscribe button, tap on that thumbs up as well. Y'all know the drill. And thank you so much for continuing to support this content and being a part of this community. From the bottom of my heart, it really does mean the world. Y'all are the best. Stay tuned for more videos very soon. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.